Hi, Clay Buddies. So I started just a few minutes early to make sure everything looks okay. So give me a second. Okay. I just want to make sure that you guys can see everything okay. And I'm going to move the camera back just a little bit. So it's hard to get this perfect. So give me a few seconds. I hope you guys can see okay. There we go. You've waited. Aw, you're so sweet, Mark. Okay, so now we're gonna get started. I had to stand on my little stool there. So I'm gonna outline what I have here. Hi, everybody. So while everybody's coming, I'll just talk a little bit about the tools that I have here. Can you see okay? Is the light okay? Hi, Tim. Hi, everybody. Hi, Stacy. You have an extruder now. Yay! All right. So I just wanted to show you. Oh, thank you, Stacy. No problem. I'm happy to do it. Right now, I'm not doing anything clay. We are remodeling our house. So I couldn't really do anything from clay wise, but I could do this. So I said, I'll do this. Okay, it looks well lit. Good. So what I have here, this is the extruder. It's going to be kind of upside down looking, but that's okay. This is the extruder that I've made previously that made these little sponge holders. Sponge holders are my biggest seller, and they take a long time to make. So I said, well, I'm going to extrude them. And you can kind of see how much they shrink. They shrink a lot. Well, this is B-Mix, so they shrink about 1/4 of an inch. So you can actually see that they shrink quite a bit. Yeah, we're working on my house. That's where I've been. Hi, Loretta. Oh, you had a dream about me last night. Oh, no. So basically, I have some blank dies that I've already cut out, and that's the ones we're going to be working on. But these are cutting boards, plastic cutting boards, and I got this cutting board for about 1/4. Hi, everybody. Don't go buy. One's about 1/4 inch. This one's a little bit thinner, not by much. I got these at the Goodwill, like by the pound store. So this costs practically nothing, maybe 1/4. So don't go buy good ones because it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a fantastic die, you know. And I wanted to show you this one real quick. This is my test tile die, but because the drill leaves a hole, you can just put a screw in it so that when you are drilling it, you know, it's all right. Let me see if I can make the camera a little bit bigger. My setup, I have to stand on the thing here. Oh, let's see. That might be better. Let's see if that looks better. Yeah, I am really not doing anything clay right now. I am remodeling my house, so that's kind of a big project. Okay, so this is an extruder die holder. And basically what this does is this holds this part of the extruder die so that it doesn't bend out. Hi, Jane. So this is a Scott Creek extruder die holder. So you just screw that on there like that. And then when you extrude it, you turn it over like this and you put it in your extruder, and then your middle part doesn't blow out. So that's one of the handy things about these dies. Like this one doesn't need it because this is just an L shape. You know, this one is fine. Oh, hang on. There we go. So this is just an L shape, so it doesn't need it. Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you, Stacy. All right, so the other things that I have, whoops, they're gonna fall off. These are all kinds of just different, I will try to hold them up there, different Dremel tools. And these are actually acrylic nail tools. These two are actually acrylic nail tools. So you can get different tools, different kinds of stuff. These ones are carbide tip tools. And this one is a diamond tool. You can get them on eBay. This is a Dremel tool. This is like a cutter tool for a Dremel. This is a sanding barrel tool. That's for your nails. You can look under acrylic nail stuff. Here's some more diamond barrel tools. And here is another carbide tip tool. And that's what these are also. So they're just different Dremel tools. You can use which ones you want. I'm going to use this one tonight. This is a carbide cutting tool from the Dremel kit. Here's a drill bit. You don't have to have a drill bit. So we're going to get started. So first of all, we're going to cut our die. I have my drill. It's a hammer drill, but you don't want to use it on hammer. You can use it on the drill part. I have a 4 1/4 inch, I believe it's a 4 1/4 inch hole cutter, a 4 1/4 inch, because my extruder is a homemade extruder. So this fits inside of my extruder, inside of the cap of my extruder, which I did not think to bring that in here because my extruder is outside. And then, so these are about $20. It's kind of expensive. This is a quick chuck, and this is about $20. So this is not cheap, but you don't have to use the most expensive one. If you have a quick or a chuck, you don't have to use a quick chuck. I like the quick chuck myself. Hi, Priscilla. Hi, everybody. It's been a long time since I've live streamed, so if I flub up, please forgive me. So you just screw that on there, and then you just, so it's not going to move. So you just make sure it's tight. Everything's tight. It's not going to come undone. Hi, Heidi. Okay, so what we're going to do is on this board here, hi, everybody. I have a piece of wood underneath of this old cutting board. And the reason I have a piece of wood, and I have it clamped down to my work table, because I don't want to drill through this board, because this is going to go through before this goes through. So you don't want to cut through your work surface. So I have an old piece of wood. And this is going to be a little loud, so you might want to turn down your speaker, okay? This whole process is a little loud. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly... Hi, everybody. I'm just going to start drilling it. And you want to hold on to your drill because it'll... it's going to make a mess. So one of the things when you're drilling, you want to... You kind of want to go in a circle and rock it. Like that. Whoops. I didn't have my drill tight enough. So you're going to do that. Once you get it out, it's going to be a little hot. Hang on. You can use your needle tool. You can use your needle tool to poke it out. And like I said, you do not have to get an expensive cutting board. Go to this thrift store. They have this stuff at the thrift store all the time. I'll cut another one just so you guys can see. You want to make sure your drill is tight, because I did not make sure it was tight. So you really want to make sure it's on there tight. So we'll do another one. make sure, and I might have gone too far. You want to make sure you don't drill into your workbench, which I think I might have. So you want to be careful of that. Oops. You might want to have a thicker board than I have because I wasn't anticipating that, but. So there we go. So I've cut out my dies. And like I said, these are pretty cheap. You can get them, you know, you can get them pretty cheap. And this is a messy process. All right, so we're going to take, well, if you have a drill press, you wouldn't need to rock it because a drill press will, right. A drill press would just go straight through. Oh, good, I didn't go through that. A drill press, you wouldn't need to rock it. It's just that with a drill, a handheld drill, it'll jerk your arm if you don't rock it. All right, so then you're left with this. So you don't really need that right now. Let me see about getting rid of this. So we want to clean up this stuff just a little bit. Because you want to keep it kind of clean, if nothing else. All right, so now you can use a Dremel. My Dremel is broken, but I have a foot-pedaled flex shaft grinder carver. I bought this at Harbor Freight. It was not very expensive. I think it was $30. Which was much cheaper, and you can use the 20% off coupon on it that they have all over the place, because I could not afford another Dremel, and my Dremel is not working correctly. So I got this. It has a foot pedal, which is nice because it's variable speed with the foot pedal, and right now it has a sander, diamond sander in it, and I'm going to take that out. Let me move some of this stuff. So I'm gonna, if you hold on a second, I'm gonna try to zoom in the camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing better. Yeah, they're really great. So fancy. I know, I love my Dremel too, but my Dremel is broken and I couldn't afford another $100 Dremel. And I didn't want to buy a cheap Dremel because cheap Dremels don't work very well after a while. So it comes with a little chuck, a little tiny chuck, and you don't want to lose that. All right, so let's see. Sorry for the camera adjustment so much. So, so you can put your, you can change your chuck out, and I'm going to change it to the carving bit. And this is going to, yes, it was a couple months ago, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago I bought it. I have no idea what is on lockdown or not. I know nothing. I've been in the studio all day. So I'm going to use this to begin with. This is a Dremel carver bit. This is specifically for carving out things. And I'm going to use that one. So I want to make sure this is on there nice and snug. All right, so on there. I'm going to open my door. I'm a little hot. Sorry about that. I'm going to be dying of sweating. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, it just got really hot in here all of a sudden. Like, oh my God, I'm hot. Okay, so now that's the flex shaft, and I'm going to hang it up there. It hangs up so you can use it like that. So one of the things with my sponge holder that I'm not happy with is that it's so wide at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redesign it. So I'm just using what I have. And here comes my kitty. Don't be surprised if Killer gets up here. She loves to get in, she loves to get up here. Because Killer Kitty loves to be in my live streams. So I don't love how these are straight up and down. I really want it to be more round, like more circle. I know. You guys want to see her? Come here, kitty, kitty. Where is she? Come here. Killer. Come here. She'll come over here in a minute when she wants. So yeah, I'm not happy with how straight this is. So I'm going to make a round. I'm going to make one that's more round. So I'm just going to carve out or draw out the circle that I want. No, she's sitting over there. She's like, yeah, I don't want to come over there right now. Now she left. So I had drawn this out on the computer, so it was all perfect. And then I lost my drawing. So now, if you're not happy with that and you're like, ah, that looks like crap. So you can turn it over and draw it on the other side. Which I think I'm going to do because I think I want it up higher. Because I think I'm going to put feet on it. So I'm going to move it up a little bit more. So like that. Now if I, Killer ate it. Now if I turn it over, that's too small. Yeah, that's, I made a foot part. Now, if you mess up and you can't, if you didn't do it right, you can use some alcohol or you can use some acetone. I don't know where my alcohol is. I'm using some acetone. Hi, Denise. And you can just wipe it off if you mess it up. So that's one thing you can do, is you can just use your acetone or alcohol or whatever, and then you can redo it. So we'll just do it on this side. Because I kind of messed it up. So, like I said, I had the paper. I don't know what happened to it. I lost it somewhere. Okay, that looks better. All right, I like that better. Right? Oh no, they're gel polish. They're not going to go. They're not going to go anywhere. Gel polish doesn't come off. Gel polish is like the miracle. UV gel polish is wonderful. All right, so now I have my die cut out right there. I will need my board back though. So when you go to carve this, you'll want to use your board. Because you don't want to carve it on your workstation. So now I'm just going to make, right here, I'm just going to make a little circle at the top. Now I'm making this quite thick because it's going to shrink. And it's also going to need to be substantial. So I'm going to just make feet. I'm just going to eyeball the feet. Now you could get all fancy and measure it, but I'm just going to eyeball it. And you could also, you know, if you want this to go up further, you can always make it go up further a little bit. And this is going to be a sponge holder. So I can make it go up a little bit further on this side and on this side, like that. So now, you could totally do that. You could totally trace this one. This one's a little small, so I wanted to make it bigger. So you could totally trace it like that if you wanted. You could just you know, and then adjust it the way you wanted. You could go out like that and adjust it. I wanted it round, so. But I kind of wanted a bead on top. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the drill and I'm going to drill out the top part. Where did I put the drill? I have to find the drill first. You will want to wear safety goggles or safety glasses when you are doing this. Please take precautions and protect yourself. I'm wearing my regular glasses because I have regular glasses. Now, I'm not going very fast. I'm just going a little slow. So you don't have to go speed demon at all. All right. So one of the things that you can do is you could just always just go along here and drill out your form. This will save a little bit of carving. If you had a bigger drill bit, it would be faster, but this was just the drill bit that I had used on the other one. And so having the wood underneath is really important so you don't drill into your countertop. All right, so you'll want to do that all the way around. And now we're going to start off carving it. And what I'm just going to do, you just hold on to it, get your cords out of the way. Now, you could clamp it to your board if you would like. Oh, I'm good. I've done this before. And if you have not done this before, you might want to try on the scrap piece of after you cut out your circles. You might want to try just carving, just to get a feel for it. Yes, it could make a nice ruffly edge. I would, if you have never used any power tools like this before, I would definitely experiment first. And I apologize if it's loud. I couldn't figure out how to turn off the mic like that. Don't get your finger right here. It'll get hot. Yes, it is a foot pedal. I'll show it to you. So the way this works, it's kind of dirty. You plug in the drill to the foot pedal, and then it's variable speed, so you can go fast or slow. And when I get all done, I will put links to everything that I'm using. So now I'm going to change out the bit. And I'll show you how to smooth it out. Okay, I got it really tight. I got the bit in there really tight. Ooh, it's hot. It'll be hot, so be careful. So I'm going to take the this little guy here. This is a carver. And this is from a Dremel kit. So it's a carver piece. So now I'm just going to use this and clean it up a little bit. Notice I have my pinky out for stability. Yeah, basically. And South Paul, Greg, they do have, because I'm classy, they do have just the pedals at Harbor Freight too. That's the start of it. Do you guys want me to finish it? Well, I've only been doing this a half an hour. Well, I mean, I can finish cutting it out if you want me to. So you want to try to get that mess out of the way a little bit. Show us the other one. So this one is an L shape. This is for my test tiles. I made this one. And then I have, hang on, let me get the box. I think those two are really, oh wait, I have another one. I don't know if it's in my box or not. No, the other one I made is not in here. I think it's out in the extruder, but I'll show you the shape it is. Hi, Killer. This is the shape of the other one I made. This is a business card holder. So I've made, but I don't, that one's not it. I don't know where it is at this point, but this is the other shape that I've made. Hey, don't rub on that. So this is, it was an L. Hi, Corey. So it was an L and I put a lip on it. So this is a business card holder. If I were to make another one this shape, I would make this lip a lot more deep because not very many business cards can put in there. Right, Denise, you can. So that's what I was doing. So what you can do is you can take the diamond sander. Has this little notch right here. That's how you take those out. Take the little diamond sander or the sandpaper one, whichever you want. Yeah, it's off screen. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, so I'm tightening it up really good. So now I'm going to clean it up. And you'll want to kind of round off the edge on the top a little bit. Right, you want it sharp on the back side. Well, I don't know. Mark, I don't know. I just made the other ones. I just made them straight up and down. I guess you wouldn't want it beveled. This one I rounded off a little bit just so that it wasn't sharp. Careful. And then if you want to, you can even so this isn't the best cut thing. I'll probably go in and clean it up just because it's a little wobbly. So I can try to do that now. Oh, thank you, Allison. Yeah, we're tiling the floors in the other house, and I'm like 95% done laying down the backer board. I have the bathrooms left to do and the closets. So after that, I'm going to start laying tile, which is so much fun, but I'm looking forward to it. So I'm taking the spring off of pottery. All right, so let's cut this out some more. Gayla, it is an old cutting board that I got at the thrift store. I don't know what the plastic is called, but sorry it's loud. All right, so now that I've gotten to the part where the foot is, you can just take your drill and you don't have to push really, you don't have to go really fast. I love these little pieces that the plastic leaves behind. I wonder if you could use it in your pottery somehow. I'm sure you could. I just don't know how. Thanks, Stacy. Yes, old cutting boards from the thrift store. To do one side, you'll want to turn it over and clean up the back side, but we'll just continue on. How thick is it? A 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more. I have some fancy dancy calipers. I could measure it. is a multi-variable or a variable speed multi-tool from Harbor Freight. Oops, careful. Careful. Right, you could. So you can always turn it over and do the back side too. It's a little wonky now, but Jane, you can get them at the thrift store for like $1. I bought this at the by the pound thrift store, and it was super, super cheap. Like literally, I think I paid $1 for it. So if you don't have to buy new, or if you can't find one, then you could buy one new. But I would say first try at the the thrift stores. Because they'll try to sell them because they're old and worn out. And who wants an old and worn out cutting board? Right. So now I'm going to clean it up a little bit. By the Pound is from Goodwill, and it's where they send all of their stuff they can't sell in their stores. They send it to the By the Pound outlet. Yes. And Savers, how did I drew it out. I used my nail powder, actually. I just took a circle and I drew it out. You know, correct, Stacy. Correct. I would not advise using water with an electric drill. Although, saying that, the electrical part of this drill would nowhere be near the water. But I still would not advise to do it. My spindle was spinning, so I got my other one that has a tape in it. This one has a little piece of tape in there to hold that in better. Sometimes Goodwill's like that. Sometimes Goodwill is more expensive than buying it new. And I do know that. But, you know, if you look at other thrift stores other than Goodwill, I don't love Goodwill. They're just the ones with the by the pound place. But you can always look at Savers. Sometimes they have a by the pound place. Or you can look at thrift stores that are independently owned. how it pops off there. So you have to be careful with that. With the sander, you can't go too fast. All right, and there you have it. Now, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Uh-oh, I missed the comments. Right, Stacy. Correct. So I have 3 dies that I've made so far. I've made, whoops, don't let me throw it across the room. So the other thing to take into account when you're making these is shrinkage. Because look at that. Look how much it shrank. This is literally from this die. Look how much it shrank. It shrank. It's an old cutting board, Rosemary. It is a cutting board that I found at the thrift store. I paid $1/4 for it, about. And I cut out the circles. It's about 1/4 inch thick. Penny, I have all kinds of drill bits. I do my own nails, and so my own acrylic nails. So I have a bunch of acrylic bits. These are found on Amazon. The carbide cutting tips. You can use Dremel tips. This one is a carbide cutting tip from the Dremel. This one is a cutter tip from the Dremel. You can use just about anything. This is a diamond bit. Yeah, like from the kitchen. So this one is from here. And then, so those 2 are this one. Now, this was about 3 inches when I cut it. Maybe 2 inches. I think I cut it at 2 inches. And as you can see, it is not 2 inches. So it is a lot shorter. This one was about 3 inches and it's a lot shorter. So depending on your clay, I find it shrinks about 1/4 inch. So you want to take shrinkage into account. This one, I don't think, oh, wait, look at this. So this is the test tile one. So look how much the test tile shrank. It shrank a lot because this is from this die. And so these are my test tiles. I don't put holes in them. I used to, but I don't put holes in them anymore because, you know, they don't get hung up, so. Oh, yes, Mark, that's true. And you can get them on the cheap at eBay and Amazon. You can get sets for really cheap. And Harbor Freight has really cheap sets for Dremels too. So take into account your shrinkage when you do these. This is as big as I can cut for my extruder, because my extruder is a homemade extruder. And so you want to just make sure that you can make, you know, that it'll fit and it'll extrude out. So this is a little wonky, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter if it's wonky or not. Right, Denise, you can get them really cheap. Like, they can totally be cheap. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. The only thing that is really expensive out of this whole operation, and you don't even have to have an expensive drill. You can use a cheapy Ryobi drill. This is the most expensive thing because this is $40 right here. Now, you could cut your circles out with a jigsaw. You could cut your circles out on a bandsaw if you have it. You can cut your circles out with, what is the saw that used by hand? What is that thing? Like the El Cheapo old time saw? Right, Ginger. You know, they look like a harp saw like this. You could use this. I use this with a wire, but you could use this saw blade one, a coping saw, right? Which I have right here, duh. So you could cut it out with a coping saw. Oh, you can. Oh, good to know. Good to know. So for me, this was the most expensive part of the whole operation. But consider, I have a story to tell you guys. I had my welder make me a nice metal die. Let me see if I can find the other one. He made me this of course is not it. So he made me this nice die. This is one that came with my kit. And it had a perfect uh-oh. Did we freeze up? Oh no. Are we there? I know it froze for a second, but I think it's still good. And our net went slow. All right, it looks a little out of focus. Back again. Can you guys hear me? Are we good? Are we good? You guys can see me? Well, you can't see me, but you can see my hands. All right, so we have about 10 more minutes. But I was telling you a story. So I paid $40 for a custom-made die for an extruder bit. I mean, a test tile die. And I lost it. Do you know how easy it is to misplace this in your studio? I can't find it. It's missing. It's completely missing. I have absolutely no idea where it went. It's just gone. And focus and all. Basically, I paid $40 to get one of these made for a test tile die. And I misplaced it in my studio. It's completely gone. So anyway, let's finish this real quick. So let's see. We'll turn it over and do the other side and clean it up. I don't want to go. Killer ate it. Killer ate it. She's in her bed, so she can come join us in a minute. So you just want to smooth it out. So there you go. Now, you can take your sandpaper and smooth it out some more. Yeah, I know, right? Reclaim eats everything. I spent $60 on a stamper for my bottom of my pots with my logo on it, and lost it. So I had to buy another stamper. And then about 2 years later, when I reclaimed all of my reclaim, I found my stamper. You're right, it does eat it. So let's talk about this real quick. This is from Scott Creek Tools. Right, Stacy, I know. I'm so happy. I hope you guys learned something. I hope that this was valuable information for you. I hope that you guys can go back to your studios when and if you can ever go back to your studio. Fortunately for me, my studio is in my backyard. I don't have to go anywhere. Which I'm very happy. I'm very happy that my studio is in my backyard. Gremlin's in the studio. So this, basically, this die just ensures that when you're extruding, that middle piece doesn't flex out. So what'll happen is when you're extruding, even though this is a really thick die, because this point right here and this point right here is fairly thin, this can stretch out, like it can push down and it can distort your piece. So this was maybe $20, but it came in my kit that I bought from them. So I think you can buy these separately, but this actually came in my die kit because I have a hollow die kit from them. The Super Duper Clay Extruder. And this really helps. And you can make your own. You don't have to buy this. If you get, I don't know what they're called. They're U-bolts. So if you get a U-bolt, let me get a piece of paper. So they look like this. So they're basically just a U, and they're threaded. So this is like the threads, like they're just threaded right here. And then you put the U-bolt, like you drill a hole here, and you drill a hole like on this side, and you can just use a U-bolt on this point instead. And then it has nuts that go on it, and then you just tighten down the nut. So you don't have to buy this. Like, this is not necessary. It's just something I already had. You can buy these little U-bolts. That's what they're called, U-bolts. And they shape just like that. And these are nuts right here, and they're threaded right here. And you literally just drill a hole here and put the U-bolt in it. This is from Scott Creek Tools. That's what this is from. And I think you can buy it individually for like $20, but I'm not 100% sure. And so, okay, I'm kind of neurotic. I will probably recut this because see how this is kind of wonky right here? I would have to redo it because this isn't even, like this side. So if I was to make this that I'm going to use it, I would definitely recut it because it's not completely perfect. But sometimes you got to let that kind of stuff go, you know? He doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my gosh, you'll have to watch from the beginning, Christina. So that's how you do it. And so these are some of the things that I've made from my extruded test tiles. And better yet, let me tell you what I did with the business card holders. Where did the other one go? Oh, here it is. The business card holders, I put this, well, it's not this exact die, but I put the die that's very similar to this. I clamped it to my pug mill, and I extrude them out on the pug mill. And I have about 1,000 of these, and I sell them for $10 a piece. And I don't sell a lot of them, but I sell quite a few. And, you know, it took me like 20 minutes to cut them and sponge them off. You know, they're very easy to do. And so I just clamped this to the end of my pug mill, and I turned it on, and it extruded these out. It was super easy. So those are some of the things. Let me see if I can stand it up. So those are some of the things that I've made with my extruder. My homemade extruder that I cut out. Now it's dark outside. My extruder is outside and I have no lights out there. And it's rattlesnake season, so I'm not going out there without a flashlight or the light on. I wasn't prepared to use it in the extruder. But it's pretty easy. You just put it in there the way the dies go in, and you just extrude it out. I don't have any in the wet form. I know, right? Oh, with the pug mill. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that, oh, rattlesnake. No, it's a homemade extruder, but I did not make it. It actually came from Tucson Clay Cooperative, and someone there had welded it, and I bought a slab roller from them that was homemade, and the extruder came with it. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Gail. So I have a homemade extruder. It's pretty cool. Maybe one day I'll do a live stream with it. So, all right. Bye, you guys. I'm not going to show you my face. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic week. And stay home. Don't go out in the world.